Yeah, right lads, this is the Geordie Jedi doing my next game review. Assassin's Creed 4, an absolutely brilliant game. I've spent the last couple of months playing it regularly on and off. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Sorry, Gary Barlow. Anyways, game it seems revolutionary, really. You'll start off, with the traditional Assassin's Creed thing, when you'll just walk around and see it as a normal character. You won't be an assassin. You'll just walk around a relatively staged area. Then obviously you'll head into the Animus, and then you'll go through the story. I won't explain the story to you because I've been warned about spoilers already after my Star Wars review, so I won't tell the story a bit. Right, there's only one bad point, but I'll start with the good points, of course. First of all, the story itself. Incredibly well designed story. Everything's linear while also not linear. Basically what I mean is that although you'll go through the main story at a relatively reasonable rate, if you want to, you can also go off and do fort missions and destroy ships, take the ships for your fleets, which is a nice addition. When you can make your own fleet and send them off on trade missions, you can obviously go out onto the high seas and just fight, just destroy ships, board them, nick the cargo, and sail away. I was going to say drive there, that would be interesting. Right, graphics. The graphics, to me, seem revolutionary. When you're out in the Caribbean, there's no loading screens. The only time there are loading screens is when you're going into the big ports like Nassau or Kingston. Everywhere else, even just stopping off on an island, if you stop off on one island, the graphics will be brilliant. Get back on your ship, sail a bit, jump off on another island, the graphics will be the same. There's no degradation, there's no change in graphics. And the Caribbean map they've created is massive. There's so much to do without actually having to enter a port to go into Nassau, Kingston, or the French and Spanish equivalent. Can't recall the names, I'm afraid. Right, gameplay. As some of you may know, in Assassin's Creed 3 they changed the fighting style completely. People were complaining that it was a bit too easy, essentially. In Assassin's Creed 2, it was simply block, counter, kill. That was it. There wasn't much to it. They did try to create enemies that would be obviously more difficult. You'd have to kill them in different ways, but the idea was essentially the same. Assassin's Creed 3, they changed it up a bit. They made the combat a lot more flowing. Assassin's Creed 4, they kept the same kind of fighting engine as Assassin's Creed 3, but they changed everything sort of within it. It's a bit more, it flows a lot better. For the majority, you use dual swords. I think this helps to how it looks. Actually, I think dual swords looks a lot better than Tomahawk, for example. I think it flows brilliantly. It works brilliantly. Then, the main and real draw to this game, if you haven't played any of the Assassin's Creed game before, or you didn't enjoy them, is the naval fighting. It has just been perfect. Assassin's Creed 3, you had naval fighting, but it wasn't to this scale. The physics engine was relatively the same, but when you can do it on a massive scale, you don't have to load in and out of fights. You just go straight into a fight, kill them, sail away. Or the only time there's ever even a cutscene is when you have to fight legendary ships, which you'll find now and again. Right, voice acting, brilliant. Just amazing, really it is. I mean, it creates a really indulgent story and interactive. You will genuinely feel like you're there. If for those of you that have played the game, you'll kind of understand what I mean. It's unusual enough that it makes you pay attention, but familiar enough that you'll know exactly what's going on. You'll know exactly what they're saying. You'll understand what they mean. Everything. They don't make it completely pirate so that you don't understand what they're talking about, but they also do it enough so that you know that you will pay attention to every word that's being said. Blackbeard in particular, as far as voice acting goes, is brilliant. The person that voice acted Blackbeard was amazing. There's a particular scene when he it's almost like Batman, Christopher Nolan's trilogy kind of voice. It's more of a raw than a normal voice, than even a pirate voice, even a scary voice. It's more like a raw. Just perfect. Price, I got mine for £42, which wasn't too bad at the time, because I got it within reason close to when it was first sold. For the next gen. The next gen obviously is a bit more pricier these days if you're buying it brand new. If you wait a bit, it might go down if you go to the right stores, but you'll have to wait and see. It does sometimes, it doesn't sometimes. Right, the only one bad point, and to be honest it's relatively minuscule, is the character Edward Kenway. Now this is probably just me, more of a personal thing. I preferred Raton Hoketon personally, but that's just because I'm a goody, unfortunately. Basically, Edward Kenway is only interested in himself. He's incredibly selfish. He's just after money. As you go through the game, that changes. You know, the character does get more and more agreeable to me. He becomes more involved. Eventually, at the very end, he becomes, you know, all assassin. Just, you know, all to that cause instead of himself. You really have to wonder how Hatham turns into what he becomes when you see his character. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Not in the bad way. I think it's like an interesting story that might one day be told. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Leave a like if you want, subscribe if you want. May the force be with you.